Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. My regular news update is coming later today, but I just wanted to talk about one thing, and this might be a bit controversial, but take a look at the top 10 on CoinMarketCap here. And does anything just instantly jump out at you? I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's Bitcoin SV at the number 8 spot here. Now, if you've been paying attention to the cryptocurrency world, if you're watching this channel, you probably know exactly what Bitcoin SV or Bitcoin Cash SV is. That is the hard fork of Bitcoin Cash that was created, I believe on the 15th, so a bit under 2 weeks ago. The hard fork that sent the entire cryptocurrency markets crashing down, that created Bitcoin Cash ABC and Bitcoin Cash SV, with Bitcoin Cash ABC being widely considered to be the legitimate Bitcoin Cash, being the one that most exchanges and most major websites have considered Bitcoin Cash since the hard fork. Now that hard fork is generally credited with crashing the crypto markets, wiping out almost $100 million in market cap, as we have seen over the last 2 weeks. Not only the fact that this coin was hard forked, but also the details of that hard fork, which many have described as a crypto civil war, which saw Roger Ver on the Bitcoin Cash ABC camp and Craig Wright on the Bitcoin Cash SV camp, just exchanging blows on the internet, just all around acting like complete children, threatening each other's blockchains. I believe it was Craig Wright who threatened the Bitcoin Cash ABC blockchain, who threatened to attack it, to eradicate it. Now, of course, entire markets just wiped out, and for what? I'm gonna tell you for what. So Craig Wright could make a quick buck. Bitcoin Cash SV doesn't have any reason for existing. Bitcoin Cash SV is a hard fork of a hard fork from Bitcoin that is meant to return it more to the original. You don't need a hard fork for that. Use Bitcoin. So this whole thing, no reason for existing. There was no reason for this hard fork except greed, and it completely crashed the markets. Now, but that isn't the only thing it did, because just looking at these top 10, now put yourself in the mind of a mainstream investor who's not all that acquainted with the crypto world, who is interested in investing in the crypto world, who has heard about Bitcoin, who might have heard about some altcoins. And now look at this. There are 3 separate Bitcoins in the top 10. Now we all know only the number one, only Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin. The others are forks. Bitcoin Cash is a hard fork of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash SV is once again a hard fork of Bitcoin Cash. So a hard fork of a hard fork, utterly ridiculous, but it happened. But just normal investors looking at this, one of the reasons people are interested in Bitcoin, and whether you think that's a good reason to be interested in it or not is completely besides the point here, because this is what people think, what people consider when they invest, is that there's a limited supply that can never be exceeded. You don't often have that. If you're looking at things like gold, we have a general idea of how much there might be out there, but it's not just a capped supply like that. The same applies to most other things. But Bitcoin, the appeal was there's a certain number, there can never be more, no Fed can print extra ones. And then you see people hard forking Bitcoin. Now, these are technically then other coins, but they carry the Bitcoin name. And now you have not 21 not 21 million Bitcoin, but just looking at the top 10 coins, there are now 63 million coins potentially that carry the Bitcoin name. And of course that devalues the image of both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. It makes us look like a joke. You don't see this in any other kind of investment space, where people can just decide to make a copy of an existing asset, get all the extra money, because keep in mind, forking a coin creates 2 coins, and it is absolutely transparent what the reason for doing that is most of the time. It's not to make any legitimate improvements, mostly. I think Bitcoin Cash was created with the drive to make improvements, though I'm not entirely sure if it needed to exist. But for Bitcoin Cash SV, there is absolutely no reason to spin that as anything as an attempt to create extra tokens that can then be sold off for money. And it's so sad to see it gain in value so much to make it into the top 10. Now you see Bitcoin Cash SV double the market cap of Cardano, which is an actual legitimate project with use cases and not just a vanity get-rich-quick scheme. But here you have it. Bitcoin Cash is forked. Bitcoin Cash SV is created as the sidechain that doesn't have a reason to exist, that very few people actually wanted, that just exists to make a handful of people richer than they are right now. Almost 1.8 billion US dollars in market cap, created essentially overnight. Who knows how much higher the value will still go. This makes the entire cryptocurrency space look like a joke. And to see it crash the entire markets like this, it is just incredibly saddening. Now, I know the crypto markets will rebound because they always do, because we all know the long-term potentials of the underlying technologies, of the use cases. We all know all these amazing companies and people that are involved in the crypto world. We are going to shoot back up at some point. But it's incredibly disheartening to see pure greed. And this was nothing else. You cannot make a legitimate argument why Bitcoin Cash SV has to exist. A lot of people have tried, but it always comes back to the same point, that it's just to make you money. And in the end, a lot of investment products exist to make money. But the thing with cryptocurrencies is most of them, not all, but most of them have a purpose. Bitcoin Cash SV? Hard forking a Bitcoin hard fork to make it more like Bitcoin again, to make it almost exactly like Bitcoin again, not quite exactly, but close. That is not a legitimate use case. There is no point to doing anything with Bitcoin Cash SV. This is purely a selfish investment product to make millions and millions of dollars, to make billions of dollars, well, depending on how much Craig Wright had. And it's so disheartening because that selfishness, that greed, crashed the entire market. And like I said, we know at some point it will recover. But for now, we are in it for a crypto winter that is pretty rough, that might continue for weeks or months, and that could very well have not been nearly this bad if that hard fork hadn't happened. And we look like a joke. We look like a joke to mainstream investors who look at this, who think Bitcoin is this special thing, is this unique 21 million, no more. And then they look at CoinMarketCap or a similar website and they see 3 coins with Bitcoin in the name. That doesn't exist for other investment products. It looks unprofessional. It makes us look like a joke. It hurts the image of the crypto world. It hurts the chances of institutional investment coming into the crypto world. It is just all around unhealthy, childish, and makes us look like a joke. And I usually don't go that hard into my opinions about coins, but most coins I try to be nice to, because generally there is a team behind it that believes in it, there is some kind of legitimate use case, there's some kind of point to it. Bitcoin Cash SV? No, there isn't. It's a cash grab, it's selfish, it's greedy, it destroyed the markets because Craig Wright wanted to make money. And I know he pretends to be Satoshi, but everyone knows he isn't, because that would be so easy to prove. There would be a million ways he could prove he is actually Satoshi if he were, but he isn't. So all this Satoshi's vision stuff, Bitcoin is Satoshi's vision. And almost certainly, people are treating the original Bitcoin white paper like the Bible. People believe it's immutable. The original white paper was written at a time where technology was in a different place. To believe that Satoshi wouldn't want technology to progress, that he would want technology to stagnate, in my view, is ridiculous. We simply don't know that. So you can't even claim that Bitcoin Cash SV is actually Satoshi's vision, because we frankly do not know what Satoshi's vision is. And considering he innovated so much, he created Bitcoin. He pretty much created the idea of cryptocurrencies as we know them today. He created this entire space. To think that he innovated that much, and then he's against all further innovation and wants to keep the code exactly as is, that I call bullshit on. I do not believe that for one moment. Stop treating the white paper like gospel. It was written at a different time, when technological advances in the crypto space were simply not known yet. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because this is riling me up pretty much. I try to be respectful. I try to take all opinions into consideration and to be fair. But all I'm seeing here is a selfish cash grab and it destroyed the markets. Now they won't remain destroyed, but this has effects on the image of cryptocurrencies, of Bitcoin in particular, but of the entire markets by extension. And it's just so unhealthy for the markets. And Bitcoin Cash SV has to die. That is, I don't think it will survive. This is, I think a lot of people will get their profits and then cut this off, and then it will drop again. But who knows? But in general, if we cannot have 3 coins with Bitcoin in the name in the top 10, especially with Litecoin already being a slightly improved Bitcoin copy. Now, once again, this isn't an attack on Litecoin. Litecoin also innovated, but if you look at it, it is very much a slightly improved version of Bitcoin. So you essentially have 4 versions of Bitcoin in the top 10 and a stable coin. That does not look good for us. That makes our space look like a joke. And I hope we get over this. I know the markets will rebound, but this is an image problem. This is a problem for, especially with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has value because people think it has value through its limited supply as a store of value. If that perception gets broken, if people see that anyone can hard fork it, that anyone can make a copy that carries part of the same name, can create additional tokens out of thin air like that, that is not good for the prospects of Bitcoin being seen as a store of value. And now you can say these other ones aren't really Bitcoin. But in the minds of a general investor who just looks at the markets, who sees that these are also called Bitcoin, but they just have an extra word behind that, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which is the real one. It matters that other things have the same name and also get to exist and can be created at any time and are worth billions. And that makes Bitcoin look worth less in comparison, because now you can just... It's just a joke at this point. A hard fork of Bitcoin being hard forked again for nothing else but to make extra money. It's sad. It's everything that the crypto world should not be about. But with that, I'm going to end this video. I just needed to let off some steam. The normal news update video where I go through a bunch of coin news about different stuff is coming later today. Very interesting day, so we'll have a lot to talk about. But this is it for now. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I do daily update videos, usually about half an hour. And in the description you'll find ways to support the channel and my social media pages. Thanks for watching.